Dave here, how are you? And again, we're broadcasting from up in the office. I'm still not in a situation where I can carry a lot of stuff or anything really. And Vicky's come down with some kind of a chest infection as well. So we're both kind of crook, as well as me being in repair mode. Today is the 6th of October 2019, the first day of daylight saving in New South Wales, and I think also Victoria. I'm not sure if South Australia jumps on board with this or not. Anyway, there we go. That's the introduction. I hope the stream is coming through well. I think it is. You'll notice that I'm sounding a little bit nasally, which hasn't been great considering what I just went through 11 days ago now. Can you believe it? Doesn't time fly? Anyway, good morning to everyone. Thank you for saying everything's good, the sound is good, all that kind of stuff, and the video is not too bad. What I've done is behind me, I've got lights up on the ceiling. I've turned those ones off. I just have the lights on this side of the room and the monitor illuminating. The reason being, if I turn the other lights on, it really does muck up everything. You'll notice also I've got the blind drawn here and behind me, because otherwise if they're a brighter image than what I'm coming through as, I'll just go into shade and everything will be super bright. I could muck around and fix that, but it's not going to be as clean. All right. Pardon me. That's going to happen a bit during the show today. There's nothing I can do about it. Dear. Now, let me read. I hope everyone's well and you've had a great week. Let me see. Today. Hand sharpening. You can do it. Now, look, I've got my toys, I've got my machines. I love the machines and they're quick. But every now and then, if you're planing something and, chopping away with a plane or, slicing away with a plane, and all you really need is to touch a blade up. You don't have to go through the whole rigmarole of taking it back to extra course all the way through to stropping. You can stop and just give it a quick strop. Or you can take it back through your fine and extra fine, then give it a quick strop. Now you'll know that I normally hand strop plane blades and chisels because that's what I've been accustomed to all my life. But I am going to look into using one of these. Now this is a double-sided or a dual-sided paddle. Now it's got coarse leather on one side and fine leather on the other side. And it has this compound, it's a polish, they call it the gold polish. I'm guessing it's going to be the same as basically any very fine polishing compound, whether you use Flexcut's compound or whether you use Veritas's compound or whether you use Autosol, which is what Triton supply with their strop wheel for their machine, their slow speed grinder, bench grinder for polishing. Totally up to you. You look fine, Dave. All happy here. Thanks, Matthew. Victoria, New South Wales, South Australia, and Tasmania. I guess it's because it's the southernmost states. The Territory and Queensland and Western Australia probably don't get affected by the darkness so much during winter and wanting to take advantage of the daylight hours during summer because they are closer to the equator. So for us, it's in the southern hemisphere, closer the north, more north you are, and that's also your best solar orientation. You aim towards the north for light and all that kind of stuff and heating. In the northern hemisphere, you would look towards the south because you're looking towards the equator. The equator is the big deal. There you go. Midnight Joker, just finished regrinding and hand sharpening 4 old chisels. Fingers aching bad. Don't make me cough. I'm going to do a lot of this during the show. Good morning, Brian. So that's something we're going to do. We're going to give one of these away, as a matter of fact. So I had a chat to Carve during the week, and I said, look, I need something pretty low key for me to do on the show. I can't go lifting machines up and lumping things around. I can't even stand up for, an hour. This really starts to drain me a little bit at this stage. So I said, how about, look, I can sharpen a blade by hand sitting down. And I was thinking around what you guys might be interested in as far as that's concerned, whether we could do a giveaway. So this is for Australia and New Zealand. I managed to have a chat to the guys over in New Zealand, to Grant over there, and he said, Dave, I'd love to join in with this, what you're doing. Basically a monthly giveaway in Carbotech, within reason. So we've got that. So we're going to do the giveaway, and that'll run for a week. And if you check in the description box below, whether it's during the show or after the show, I think I do make comment in the conditions of entry into this little one that you answer in the area that's supplied, plus also you leave a comment about the show after the show in the comment section after. You get what I'm saying. Next thing, a little tip on adjusting letter spacing in V-carve. Now, I had someone last week when I was closing the show off said, Dave, why don't you do something with Vectric Aspire or, editing CAD software? And good on you, Kiwi 007. So I said so again. Cashmere. I had a look and I thought there was one little thing that I wanted to do, and also we had the Blue Mountains and Penrith Woodworking Club up here recently, about 5 weeks ago, I think. And one of the people that was here at the demonstration I was doing in my own workshop asked about, when I was writing their name, whether I could space the letters out a little bit, because you will see, I'll do a little bit of text in VCarve soon, and I'll show you in these particular instances where it might be handy to push the text away a little bit, one letter to the other, so we don't get the cutters bouncing, bleeding one letter into the next one beside it. You'll get the drift when I do it. And it's a handy little tip. It's one of these great things about being given this machine. Now, it's no secret, I was given that CNC machine, and also Vectric have given me a license, which is a trial license, but it's a lot longer than your standard 30-day. And I keep on showing people different things about it when they show me things, because basically I've got a direct line to God. I asked them a question, and Todd Bailey over there is so good. He responds by a video that might be half an hour. So he will explain it to me in detail. I will then take from those videos that he sends me and say, right, well, I think my viewers might be really interested in seeing how to do this. I will put it to you in the way that I normally describe things. And hopefully it's good enough for you to be able to pick up. Sorry, late being in my workshop unboxing my Carbotech bandsaw. Good on you, Chris. Excellent. Now the last thing is the update on my progress after the inguinal hernia repair. Now, I had no idea that so many people would be interested in this. This is a subject that I guess if you're male, as I said in one of the posts, 27% of males are going to suffer from an inguinal hernia. And if you're not really sure of what inguinal hernias are, you can say ingroinal. So it's just above your groin. It's halfway between, or maybe nearly halfway between your bits and your navel. You can have a left or a right. Now, mine is a combination. It's hereditary, and also it's from being a builder and picking things up that were too heavy for me in the wrong manner. I picked them up in the wrong way. Now, I'll give you a quick indication of how that is. If you have a pack of timber, now I often used to get packs of timber, 4x2s, 100 by 50, 90 by 45s, 2x4s, whatever you want to call them. And I'd get them 3.6 meters long. It was a very common size for me to get. So 3 and 5.4. So in Imperial, that's 12 feet and 18 feet. And they're not light, And I would often go through the pack. So I'd get a pack delivered, there might be 100 or so in the one pack. And if I'm looking for what was called plates, wall plates in construction, I would sight down them because I would want the straightest pieces of timber as possible, especially for the top plate. So this is the top of a wall frame, And this has got to be really, really straight. The bottom plate, not so much of an issue because I can pull that straight as I nail it down to the floor. So that wasn't an issue. So what I did, I used to kneel at the end of the pack and with my right hand on one end, left hand about 2 feet in. It's a little bit hard for me showing when I'm sitting down at a desk. It's easier when I'm standing up. You see more of my body so I can describe things better. But I would pick it up with my left hand. I push down on my right. So my left hand would be the pivot point. And that's no good. And my left hernia that went, my left side. And so I would pick up like that and flick them out of the way until I'd found the piece of timber I was looking for. Bad move. In hindsight, I should have had someone at the other end of the pack of timber and we pick it up together and move them one to the other until we get those straight pieces, lay them out on the floor. So there you go. I think that is one of the reasons. And so for the last 20 years, if you don't want to look at this, shut your eyes. For the last 20 years, I've been wearing one of these rotten things. Now this is a hernia brace. And you wear this and it's got a little area here where you've got this thing which is a packer. So you can put it in left or right. The right hand side didn't need one. And it's elastic and it's Velcro and you can pull it tight. And what are the horrible things about wearing this thing, apart from the fact, you know, that you look a little bit overly well endowed? As the hernia got worse, you'd have to pull this, the tension up on the elastic. And it was affecting my right leg. The nerves, you know, I'd get a twitch in it. I think it's possibly, I don't know if my sciatic nerve or there was another nerve down there, but it really did affect the way I walk. So there's spin-offs all over the joint. So I'm so glad that it got fixed. And if you want to see that, all right, here's another picture. If you're interested, I had the bandage changed 2 days ago. So this is going to be a picture of 9 days after the surgery area. And I'm going to show you just how good this surgeon was that fixed me up. You ready? If you know what I see, look away. So there you go. That is amazing. Now that scar is around about 110 millimeters long. And there was the tiniest little bit of bruising left there and it's just about gone. I'm going to come back here so you don't get scared. I've probably scarred everyone for life now, but that's showing when you go to someone who's done it, that they do this for a living, you're going to, for me, I got a good result. What can I say? I'm over the moon with that. I've had people send me messages, like lots and lots and lots of people. It's just amazing that we're all in the same boat. Females, 3%. 3%. Count it. Only 3% of females will get an inguinal hernia. Go figure. They also say that it's from when you're developing in the womb. After you know your body's worked or your mother's body's worked out whether it's going to be a boy or a girl. Well, the boys have things that descend, gonads, I think they call it when it's in a fetus, and they go through the abdominal wall to end up where they're going to live. You know, part of being a boy. And I'm pretty sure, and so that leaves a weak point. Have a look. Was it a cosmetic stitcher upper? I don't know. It was, he said you won't see it. He looked for a crease line. As I say, that's around where your undies are. Oh, here's another thing. I'm not wearing jeans at the moment. That might scare you. You might think, what are you doing? Have you seen those comic strips or comedian sketches, I should say, where they've got the suit and all that kind of stuff at the top, but they stand up and they're just sitting there in their undies. I'm wearing what's called a sulu. This thing here, it's basically a dress, you could call it, I guess. So whilst I'm in recovery mode, which is going to be for a few more weeks yet, I wear this thing. Yeah, Barry, that's correct. That's correct. Not working for a main income, good time to recover. I am still working for an income, and I'm still getting sick pay, but it's only, 1 day a week. So I didn't time that very well, did I? I should have had this operation when I was working full time for them, but not to worry. It's done, it's got to be done. So I'm hoping, I really am hoping that the things that I'm showing you and telling you about, apart from woodworking and sharpening and all that kind of stuff, is going to be of some benefit to you, because next month is November. So in Australia, we have a thing called Movember, which is about men's health. And it's where you grow a moustache and people support you. They sponsor you to grow a moustache, and the money raised goes towards men's health in Australia. And it's a very, very good cause, and I've supported it for years and years and years. Pardon me. That's not fun. All right, let's move on. I'm going to have a quick turn up a bit late this morning. Judging from the photo I'm seeing, is this now Dave's manscaping tips? You could say that if you wanted to. Look, there's a lot of people who probably wouldn't talk about this. They're going to be a little bit shy or prudish, and they embarrassed. When I went up and saw the nurse about getting this bandage changed, she says, "Oh, just put something here to cover you." And I said, "Look, I'm way beyond modest. I really am." And she said, "Oh, well, someone might walk in the door." And I said, "All right, fine, cover it up." But let's move on to the next thing, which is, let's have a look at V-carve. I'm going to do the V-carve thing next. Now, don't forget, as I say, I've got a competition running for Australia and New Zealand. If you want to win one of these, supplied by carve. I'm going to mention their name because they're the people that put it up, and they paid for it, not me. This is the thing. Now, I've seen these in the store for years, and I've never really known what the hell they're for. So when I get something, I research it, and then I'll show you guys about it. Let's go to Aspire. Now, I think I've got that open. I'm going to open this other one up here and do a transition. You're going to see a little bit of junk on the screen for the moment, and then it'll go to Aspire, hopefully. All right, now, can someone please let me know if you see me in one corner? I should be up in that corner over there, and the Aspire program sitting up there ready to go. I'll open up, create a new file. Whilst I'm doing this, hopefully someone will just say, yes, I can see it all. And let me have a look at all of this. This is all basic stuff. I really don't care too much about everything that's down here on this side. It's looking all right. Okay, so no one's put anything up yet. Quick coffee while I wait. Thank you very much. All good. Okay, now I've got, you can see the screen that I've got. You can see me in the corner, and you can see the comments as well. Now, V-carve, this is the draw the text. Okay, bottom my left. Okay. This is where I draw text, and I've opened that up, and it tells you the size. That's 40 millimeters high, the text, which for a sign is not bad. Let's go 50 millimeters. So I'm going to back out of there and go 50. And you'll see this text box is indicating the height. So it's a good indicator as to where you are. I'm going to run at center. It's much like a Word document. You can go left alignment, center alignment, or right alignment. And it's telling me the anchor point, how far across the x-axis, and how far up the y-axis for the starting point. Now, the text is going to go out left and right of that point. So I can fix all that after if it isn't quite centered. So I'll show you how to do all of that as well. Let's see, what am I going to write here? Let's go the quick brown fox. Why not? Okay. And I'm going to say close. Small question for the morning. Should the top of the plane blade be square to the edge, or isn't too much of an issue if it's just a very small block plane? Matthew, I'll answer that in a second. If I haven't answered it, bring it back up again. But at the moment, let's just work on the text. Now see, I've got this, that is the vector basically. So if I left click away from the text, well then that vector has gone to sleep. So if I just left click and drag the mouse over it, it will wake up that whole vector. Now it's seeing it as one vector. There are ways of breaking it apart, but I don't want to at this stage. Now over here on the left hand side, you'll see align selected objects. Now I'm going to click on that. And I want to align to material. I could go left to right or up to down or both of them. So I'm going to click both. And there you go. It's dead center of the sign. How cool is that? This is so easy when you get the hang of it and it becomes second nature. Okay, Brian, I will. Thank you very much, and look after your foot as well. The quick brown fox. Now, you'll see I'm going to make the text large. So I push down on the scrolling wheel away from me to increase the size. And you'll see just here, that's looking a little too close for me, a little too busy. So I'm going to space the distance between the U and the I simply by going over to this button here. It says edit text spacing and curve. Forget the curve. All I know about at the moment is edit the text spacing. So I'm going to left click on that, and then I'm going to come over to here. Now if I don't push the shift button, if I leave the thing alone, you'll notice I'm still alive. You'll notice that it wants to close the gap up a little bit. So if I left click on that now, it's pulling the text closer. And that's going to be horrible. So I push down on the shift button, and you'll notice that those two arrows which are pointing towards each other will point away the other direction. So I can now that's how it came to me as the text straight out of a spire. So I want it to be a little bit further apart. And I like that. See this distance here? That's pretty good. And I've got a similar distance there. And I'm happy with all of that. Okay, Ian, thanks, buddy. I think Peter is going to look after that. Thank you. All right, now I'm going to... Ian, you're going to miss out on the sharpening. Not to worry. I'm going to push the shift... I'm going to pull down on the scroll wheel back towards me and pull it back down. And it doesn't look too bad now. See that spacing down the bottom? Looks better, and also it's going to be good as far as the machine's concerned. Now, if you have a look over here, the W and the N, they look a little bit too close for me as well. So I'm going to scroll up and push down on the shift button one more time. Pull back on the scroll wheel, and I think I might have gone a little too far, but it's not too bad. See the distance there and the distance there. That might need to be pushed apart a bit. But if I want to pull it back one click, I do there. Yeah, I think I'm going to push it back. I like that. And here, that one I'm going to push it apart. And looking through here, maybe that one click. And everything there is looking pretty good. We've done this for two reasons. And that is to make it look a little bit better, and also we don't get any tear out or break between the tips of the letters where they're coming up to the next letter. So remember, we're working with timber most of the time. It's daylight saving. No S at the end of daylight saving, I believe. But John, you're excused. You're excused. You did see the, you call it letter spacing in the printing game? Well, Wayne, I hope that works. I hope it works the same kind of way as what you were expecting in the printing game. So I'm going to get out of that now, close that, say no, and we'll get out of there. And go to the main camera, back over to there, and we're here again. That was pretty. I haven't had any stuff-ups with the camera work today. Kerning. Thank you. See, we're learning all the time. Everyone's learning here. This is great. So, John Lafferty, you have no excuse. You did see the post that I put on Facebook, and it said, join me in 30 minutes, and then you probably went to sleep again. All right, let's see what else we've got here. We are going to have a look at this guy, at the strop. And we're going to have a look at using the diamond stones. I've got a camera set up beside me here. So let's see how we go. I think the term is kerning. Printers will bring letters closer like the F and the O in Fox. Thanks, David. So I had no idea anyone would really be interested in that particular segment. But it just goes to show what a diversity we've got in the audience here. I love it. So now we're going to go to hand tools, and let me see if I can get this happening here. All right, down here I have the DMT stones. What have we got here? I have the coarse and extra coarse, which is not going to be used today. I'm going to use the fine and extra fine. I'm going to pop that in there. Sleeping is a big part of your life. And this is the blade. Now I'm going to talk about the blades at the moment. Now you notice this blade, I don't know if you can see it, but on the side it has the slightest round over. Now that round over there is on purpose. This is only right near the edge. It just stops the obvious appearance of a trench or cutting. In the plain body, let me see if I can get the plane out that it came from. This is the number 6, Turner number 6 that blade came out of. In the mouth there, the blade will be from around about 4 millimeters in from the edge on both sides, actually cutting. That round will take the blade back out and back up inside there, so it's not going to actually affect it. So it'll be a round right on the edge. The next pass will be fine. The center, if we're doing any jointing, and this is almost a jointer, this number 6 is a big plane. If we're doing any jointing, well then it's only really going to be traveling down the center. If it's wider than that, you're a very strong person to be able to push one of these things over it. Okay, I did make comment the other week that, I don't know if we can see it, possibly not. In there is the date of manufacture. So it's the 15th, January, February, March, April, May, 1952. Yep, 15th of May, 1952. How cool is that? There's a little tip if you didn't know. Put that out of the way and get my Stanley screwdriver, which also has a cellulose acetate handle. Now you'll notice on the end, I've started sanding it. I did a little bit and then I put it down because I just wasn't feeling as though I was ready for that stage yet. But I'm going to sand that back and it's going to come up just like the knobs on these planes here, which are absolutely amazing. I'll show you. I love it. These are a high gloss. When I put pictures on Facebook, someone was saying that it was pitted underneath. There is no pitting underneath there. It was a reflection from the laminate surfaces, which are kind of like a stone look or a granite look on my benches downstairs. But I showed you a few weeks ago on how to do that on the show. And I'm going to do the same to this screwdriver, and I may even do it to my turner, which has got the blue handle, and I think that's also cellulose acetate. So first thing we do, undo that, and we separate the blade from the backing iron. So that's the backing iron. And I'm noticing now that the person that I bought this off has sharpened with oil. Now, I'm not a fan of doing that. I used to use oil stones all the time as an apprentice. Now I use water, and water with the diamond. I've never really gone down the track of using Japanese water stones, but maybe, never say never. Finishing a first, handles came out better than new. Of course they did. They're just amazing. I love them. All right, I have to read on the edge. It tells me fine and extra fine. On the edge of this, it tells me, I don't know if you can see it. There's some writing there. It says fine with an arrow and extra fine with an arrow down. So I'm going to go fine, and I'm going to put a little bit of water on it. Not a lot. Just a touch. There we go. Move that around on it. And quickly take a little bit off the back. Now this isn't too hard. I'm not forcing myself. I'm just slowly running, and I haven't had a look at this from when it came in yet, so it might need more work than what I'm doing to it at the moment. Now you can see where the shine is developing, so it needs a fair bit more work. Maybe I should have started with the course. Yeah, that's going to need a fair bit more work. The one that I did on this plane, and I will take this one off to show you. This might be better to work with. This is the one that I've already sharpened. So we're going to leave that one to the side. Isn't it fun? And I'm going to show you a couple of plane restores as well. And I'm going to show you inside Jim, let me see, what's his name? James Kosherek, inside James Kosherek's workshop. Because remember last week I asked people to send in some pictures to help me out, because I'm not going to be able to do much while I'm in this condition. And James and Paul Mumford and a few other people have sent some stuff in, which is great. All right, this one here, you can see I've done a fair bit of work on, and I've got the edge right the way across there, and it's looking beautiful. And I've done the same on this side. Now this is very, very sharp. Let's give it a. I'm not going to go back down to. I'm going to go to extra fine. I don't want to negate what I've done, so I'll give it a little bit of a touch here on the extra fine. And the main thing is to use all of the stone. Turn it around. Use the other end as well. The last thing you want with any stone is to have a high spot or a depression in it if you're wanting to do plain blades, because it's going to be a problem. That's coming up pretty nice. Now when we go to the strop, we're going to get it better than that. This edge here, I haven't used a jig. And I'm going to show you how I do it again. I've shown people this before, but let's go again. A little bit of water on there. And I put the plane on, the blade on, and I raise it until I can feel it go flat, and I can see a little wave roll away from the end of the blade. It's not hard. Now that's around 30, 35 degrees, and that's good enough for me. We could get real particular And I guess, you know, for cabinet makers that are, you know, many grades better than I am, that would make them very happy. So I can feel it there. Now it's a figure eight. It's not too hard to do a figure eight. The whole thing is you're moving, you keep your hands perfectly flat and you're moving your elbows. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. It's an acquired thing. It doesn't just happen overnight. This takes a long time to get this happening. I can feel the slightest burr there. See that edge? That's what's called the micro bevel. This little tip here. That shiny part. Now a sharp edge won't show a reflection. Many people will tell you that. But this isn't the reflection. This is a reflection of the micro bevel, not the edge. The edge has no reflection whatsoever. Now that's very sharp, but we're going to get it better than that. Okay, so that's just quickly doing some hand sharpening without the expensive gear. It's easy to do. I'm going to just put this to the side. The reason being, I don't like putting my diamond stones away wet, because I think what happens there is the diamond paste or diamond powder is set in nickel, a nickel coating on the, this is a nickel coating, and we don't want any corrosion in the base metal underneath the nickel to let it start releasing all the diamonds. That'd be terrible. More coffee. Never use oil on a diamond stone. The oil can be thicker than the size of the diamonds. Hard work gets you nowhere. Barry. Now, if anyone is, if you're in my Facebook group, you will have seen Barry's post came up again about his workshop and his collection of chisels. I have never seen so many chisels or beautiful planes in one location. I think he probably put Ian Kerry to shame. Now these things are double-sided. See, this is a coarse leather. That side is a coarse leather. The other side is a very smooth leather. Basically, I don't know, but on a hide, on a skin, one side of the hide is normally kind of rough. This is the inside of the animal. This is not the this is the inside of the skin. I think this is the outside of the skin. I think. And they say only to use the polishing compound on the coarse side. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, with slow speed grinders that turn at 90 revolutions per minute, the designed, whetstones, they say on the strop wheel to dose it up with baby oil first. Now, there's no mention in the instructions here about baby oil. They just say to apply the Flexcut gold polishing compound liberally to the rough leather surface. Drag your blade away from the cutting edge across the strop. Repeat several times on each edge. So I'm going to put this on liberally. And I've also brought my my router mat, just in case I need to stop this sliding around on the bench here. Well, there's a bit that's gone on there already. What do you reckon? I'm sure there's going to be people that have done this and they're watching me and saying, Dave, you really should have done this first. Let me know if you think I'm doing this the right way or the wrong way. I'm just following the manufacturer's instructions. I'm doing a distance along. I'm doing a fair distance from here down to here because I need the blade to travel. I can't just have it in one little spot. We're not going backwards or forwards. This is going to be a drag. Okay, that looks all right to me. I'm going to pull the back to start. Now already I can see a color happening on the high points. Can you see that? That's telling me that that's actually working. And I'm moving it around a little bit. And I'll put some more polish on. Why not? Oh, that's looking better. Well, look at that. You know what that is? That's the metal. That's the metal that's just come off the back of that plate from this. This is an abrasive. This is cool. Move that to the side and go again. Now I'm working both sides of the strop as well. So I'm pulling it down one side and then moving it so it's covering the whole area there. See that? And then pulling it down here as well. Making sure it's flat. Oh, look at that. That's not looking too bad. Not looking too bad. I'm going to try the end. Now, again, this is going to be a little bit harder, but I have to just work from memory as to how far up it went. I could pull it a little bit higher than that. That's a glisten. Look at that. Can you see that? That's impressive. And I'm going to give it one more drag across, maybe two, over there. Now, they say to flip her over and don't put anything on this side. They say you can put stuff on it if you want to, but let's try it as per their recommendation. I can see where I've been dragging it. Now I'm going to hold it up again. And again. Let me see if I can pick up that edge. What do you guys reckon? There's a couple of score marks in there that I've got to get rid of. That's going to take a little bit more work. I'm going to do a quick test. Oh, that's sharp. And the other test is on the thumbnail. That's not going anywhere. You just rest it. That's all you do is just rest it on a nail, and if it doesn't slide, that's going to be pretty sharp. All right, there we go. That wasn't too hard, and it's something I can do. You can do this at home inside, you know, rather than being in the shed. You could just get yourself a little mat, you know, like a place setting mat, and you. I just read Scott Johnson's comment there. Scott, that's what this show's all about. We share information all the time. I love it. I'm going to come out of this channel or this camera and go to the next one. What do you reckon? How nice is that? It's absolutely glistening beautiful. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pick up the edge. Possibly not. But that's very, very sharp. And it will make the plane a whole lot nicer to use. Oh, here's another tip. When you're using a plane, spend your time via natural light, if you can, to get the blade as thin a projection out of the mouth as possible. Don't have it sticking out too far. Silicon at Big W. Also, that some of these camping stores have bottled silicon, so you might want to use that. I don't know. When I was talking to Chris Pouncing last time he was over here for the timber and working with timber and artisans, Timber Tools and Artisans show at Sydney, which is going to be on at Canberra very soon. And they're sending me down some free tickets, and I'm going to send those out. Do a little competition. If you want to win them, let me know. Do you have to clean the strop? If so, how? Look, I've seen these strops absolutely filthy. That's after its first use. So, and that's the back after its first use. Possibly you have to clean the strop, but I don't clean. On the one I've got on the Triton slow speed whetstone, I don't clean the strop on that, but I did dose it up with baby oil first. Maybe I'm going to have to dose this with baby oil as well. But look, I'm sure if you were to go to Flexcut's website in the States, they'd probably tell you how to clean the things. But it might just be a simple situation of a leather cleaning product. I don't know. Maybe someone can research that and we'll look at that next week. But if you want to win one of those and you're in Australia or New Zealand, there's no small prize. It's I think they retail for $77 in Australia, so it'd be about $330 in New Zealand. Pardon me. It'd be more because the New Zealand dollar's not performing as well as the Australian dollar, even though the Australian dollar is performing rubbish in comparison to the US dollar at the moment. Now, I did say I was going to have a look at James Kosherek sent in some photos to me, and the only thing is James sent all these photos and I downloaded all the photos, but it was inside a document as well, and it became really hard work to try and pull the text out. So if you send some photos in me, send photos and send me another little Word document or whatever apart from the photos. I'll work it all out and I can make a little slideshow up like I've done for James. So I'm going to run James's through here and you can have a look inside his workshop. Now, James won a pair of eye muffs on the show probably 3 or 4 months ago, and we had a quick look in his workshop and he sent in some more photos. Here we go. I'm hoping this is the actual slideshow. Give me a second. Is it going to transfer or not? Yeah, maybe it's not. That's all right. So I'm going to get out of that one because that's very embarrassing and come back to here. And I'm going to run Paul Mumford's hand plane restoration, and hopefully I've got the right one there. Let's see what happens. It may not as well. No, it is a slideshow. Now, why is it not going to the next slide? I don't understand. I do not understand. All right, one more. Let's give Bicky Bickford's a go, and I don't think it's going to work either. But anyway, give me a second. Let's see what happens. Well, that is absolutely terrible. I have no idea why that's happened. I've created in this software, I've created lovely slideshows, and you know what? It says, Dave, it's not going to happen. I don't understand why it's not working, but it's decided to not work. Let's have a look. If I hit that, let's try that. Here we go. Maybe this will work. Now this is his dust extractor, and away we go. I've got it all happening. His table saw. And the next one, a little bit further out. Word is the best, please, Paul. Just photos on their own. Send photos on their own, and a little Word document or a text document. Doesn't worry me. But don't create the photos within the story. I'll do all that. And what a great thing a drum sander is. And he's got all automated dust extraction ports as well. This is great. Don't you love having a look at other people's workshops? I do. I think it's great. And that's his miter set that he's set in a jig. How good is that? Now, if you're after miter set, have a look there. Have a look in the description box below. I have put links in, and away you go. All right, that's it. Now we're over to Paul Mumford's hand plane restoration. Before and after shots. That's before. I don't know where he found it. And that's after. What a talent. We've got some very, very clever people in here. And I think that's the last shot. Now I'm going to go over to the other side of the Pacific. This is Bicky Bickford. And Bicky's bought an old plane, and he's got a bucket full of handles and totes that he puts on them as well, I think. Thanks for that information, David. What a difference. They look fantastic. Look at that frog and the bevel lever. Look at it now. That's fantastic. Before, number 5, the handle's all smashed up at the top on that one. And after, I don't know if he's decided to do anything with the handles, or maybe he's just replaced the handles from his bucket full, and away we go. In close to the depth wheel, and the name, and there it all is fixed up again. And that's the blade. That's when it was Stanley Rule and Level Company, New Britain, Connecticut, USA. And back to me again. So look, if you find those things interesting, I love to have a look at what other people are doing with restoring things. So if you like to do a little bit of restoration, doesn't matter whether it's well, I was going to say sharpen a pencil, but that's, no, I'd probably pass on that one. But if you've got a hand tool of some sort that you've purchased and you think you might have a bit of a shot at cleaning up, could be a combination square, could be anything. Send some photos in and we'll have a look at it. It doesn't matter if it's a small scale or large scale. It's whatever is important to you. That's the main thing. As I say, I'm mucking around with this Stanley screwdriver. You can see the end. I started sanding it. And people tend to get scared of sanding acrylics or acetate. It's not hard if you use the right gear. And I'm sharing all of that. I'm going to actually do a video. I've got another Turner, number 4, coming to me. Hopefully the person I bought it from sends it. And it's an absolute mess. It's a stinker. And I bought it like that on purpose. I probably paid too much for it. But I wanted to do a video on before and after, what you can achieve. And you've just seen from those guys what's possible. My shirt's looking a bit disheveled with the microphone there. Let me see. I think I've got everything covered. Let me have a look at my run sheet. What do we got? Hand sharpen. We just did a quick hand sharpen with the with this little guy, and that's just become scary smooth. Oh, the good thing about using that is, if you're planing away, not that one because that was the rubbish one. This is the good one. You're using a plane or a chisel. You don't need to take it back to a stone every time. You don't need to take it back to a stone all the time. The angle is already there. It may just need a polish up on a strop like that, and you're good to go again. Why take all this metal off where it just might be the edge needs to be brought up keen? Could save you a few dollars. We're going to try it. Why not? That works. Oh. Careful I don't pick it up the wrong end. That was my run sheet. Only half a show today. Not good. Not good at my condition at the moment. We're going to give that away. So that was one of the things. And then a little tip on adjusting the spacing in letters in V-carve, kerneling or whatever you want to call it. It's easy, and I'm sure it's going to be very similar on other programs as well. I've told you about the update on how I'm going with the hernia. Yeah, it's one of those things in life that I had to do. I didn't have to get the hernia. I had to get it fixed. And again, I was super surprised. That video last week has had 4,500 views or more. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Maybe it's just a topic that there's guys, mostly guys, as I say, are interested in. And if I've taken you through it and answered questions, and so today with the post work, like as I say, 10 days after or 9 days after my situation, because it was the weekend, had the dressing changed, and when the nurse finally got the dressing off, she said, "What an amazing job this guy's done." There you go. Okay, so John's just saying there that he's not going to be at the Canberra Timber, Tools and Artisans show this year, but on my stand I will be having some of his stuff there as well. So what I'm going to try and do is there's going to be some people there that know John in the area, and I'm going to ask a few of them if they might be able to come and man that little part for him. So if you want to buy some of his gear at the show, or have a look at it and then buy it online later on, we'll be able to look after you. It's not a problem at all. It's just you won't have John's cheery disposition there, and being able to chat to him about how he actually does all the process. Yes. Well, what I do normally is I pull my leg right up against my chest before I cough, and it seems to work fine. I have heard of people holding onto pillows around their stomach, and that would work as well. You'll be available, Derek. Thank you very much. I thought there'd be a few people. I was thinking you'd probably be the prime candidate, but we're a family. It's a group as far as I'm concerned, and we look after each other in more ways than one. So there you go. I think that's about it. All covered. Check the description box below. And keep on coming back. I hope you enjoyed the show. As I say, it's a bit lame at the moment while I'm not able to be down in the workshop and get kind of hyped up and excited about everything. But I want to try and keep it happening. And some things in here I'm sure that you probably found interesting. Anyway, I'm going to get going. I'm going to watch the Rugby League Grand Final this afternoon or tonight. Next weekend, there is a big motor racing event in Australia called the Bathurst 1000. And And my show will actually start whilst that race is happening. The race runs for 6 hours. It's a huge thing. I'm going to try to see if I can find some way of having it in the corner of the stream at the same time while I'm broadcasting. We'll see what happens. I don't have any kind of private paid affairs. It'll be probably free to wear through Channel 10 or something like that. I might be able to try and sneak it up in the corner. We'll see what happens. Anyway, look after yourselves, guys. Be nice to each other. I'm trying to see if I can come down to here and find this part. Be nice to each other. Look after yourself. And I shall see you next week. Bye.